Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Whoa, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now.
Dallas Fort Worth, AALAC, the Chasing Your Dream Book Tour and Expo is coming to your area. Mark your calendars, May 18th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have some amazing authors, some amazing business owners that's going to be sharing about their brand. We have some workshop facilitators that's going to be coming out. They're going to be teaching on branding, marketing, and networking. I want you to plan to be in the building, to be educated, empowered, and encouraged. Come out, support.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Crew Podcast. I am the visionary Queen Angela, and welcome to Season 2. I want to thank you for tuning in and for all of your support throughout Season 1. We're back, them Divas of the Airwaves. So thank you for joining us tonight. Share this with someone in your circle.
Because I'm back.
Welcome to the SC Book Gal and Friends Chat. We're going to be talking about the latest in book reviews, author interviews, and life. Come on in and join us. We're ready. Are you?
I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild for me. And all
You're muted.
Hey everyone, it's another Saturday night, and you are here with me, SC Book Gal 843, and I am bringing you another author. So now, this author is going to help us with our relationships. Y'all know we all have those little problems with intimacy and unsuccessful marriages and how to get deep and satisfying with your partner. So she's going to give us some tips. Our author tonight is Miss Alexandria Stockwell. Come on up, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm great. Such an honor to be here with you.
Thank you for being here tonight. And this is like a total refresher for my show because we've really never talked about relationships. Because, yeah, I get
that a lot. I mean, I'm on relationship shows and do interviews on podcasts and different things, but there are lots of people who their first step into this territory in their professional context is with me. So welcome to the club.
Okay. Well, since we are welcoming each other, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, let's see. I am a physician and I've been practicing medicine for, a while. And lots of different things happened, and I ended up transitioning to become an intimate marriage expert, a relationship and intimacy coach. I've been married for 28 years. We have 4 children, and I love what I do. I love helping people really transform their relationships in beautiful ways. And so I wrote a book about my method so that anyone who wants to read or listen on Audible can easily upgrade their relationship.
Okay, so you are say the whole title for me, and I would like you to break it down because I've never heard
Okay.
of.
Well, the title I didn't say, which I also use, which is here on the screen, is The Intimacy Doctor. But what you're asking me about is Intimate Marriage Expert. And honestly, I made up that name because so often, if you look for relationship advice, there's tons of relationship advice available for people who are dating, for people who are looking for someone. And there's also sort of clinical, dry, expert opinions about how to have a better marriage. And you think they're talking about which kind of oil to use when you change the oil in your car. Like it's not about what we're talking about.
Okay.
And you know, and there also are I think a lot of religious leaders who have a lot to say about relationships. And it's not that I necessarily disagree, but I find it's always incomplete. And so I coined the term intimate marriage expert because I want people to know that's what we're talking about. Yes, we're talking about communication, emotional connection, conflict resolution, how to really be on the same team. And we're also talking about the juicy things, about intimacy with our bodies as well as our minds and our hearts. And it's the whole thing. And so often people assume if you're married, the best you can hope for is for the passion to kind of taper off, hopefully slowly, but definitely inevitably. And that is not true.
Thank you for saying that because I understand that. Went through that with round one. So I'm totally seeing where you're coming from. So uncompromising intimacy. What made you want to write this book? What says this needs to be read by anyone who touches this book?
Yeah, well, I really am committed to the mission of transforming the cultural narrative around long-term relationships so that the kinds of things I'm saying are understood. And one of the best ways to do that is to write a book because people can read it on Kindle, they can get the paperback, they can listen on Audible, really all over the world. It's a very small cost with a very big positive impact if people actually use what they learn. And I can't talk to everybody. I don't have time in the day, and people aren't really motivated to be able to talk to enough people. So one of my I have two motivations for writing. One of them definitely is to be able to reach more people with what I have to say. That's one. The
Okay.
other is that what I have to say is not available anywhere else. This is
Ooh.
my material. I've done a lot of different trainings as well as personal experience and coached probably now thousands of couples. And what I have to say, if I didn't write it and put it in my book, it just would not be available. I'm not saying something that's been said before.
Oh, now see, I love the fact that you said that it is a small cost, but the outcome is just tremendous. I like that because a lot of people would not think of it that way.
No?
I mean,
To me, it seems how would people think about it?
I think what you just said is like getting this book is like an investment into your relationship.
Oh, I definitely believe that. I don't know, it's like $12, $13 on Amazon and Audible. It depends if you pay directly or use a credit. But I hear from people whose whose lives have been transformed because they read my book and used what's in there. And I've heard that from people who've been married for 35, 40 years. I actually have heard from a number of men in the military. And
Wow.
I don't actually refer to the military one way or the other in my book. It's not about military relationships, but men in the military who yearn to have a better relationship with their wives. And I think being a military spouse is so challenging for like so many reasons that I think are just obvious if you think about it, including the fact that you don't know when someone's going to be deployed, when they come home. Yes, it's so great to reunite, but they've had experiences that are not so easy to integrate. I just have so much gratitude for anyone in the military and any military spouse.
That is so true.
And it's just so interesting to me. Like I'm touched. I'm grateful. I wasn't aiming for this, but I'm so glad. I've heard from multiple people who, I don't know where in the world they are, in the Middle East or wherever they are, but they can read my book where they are, stationed in Germany or stationed in North Carolina. They can read my book, spend $12 that really fits most people's salaries, and what they get if they actually integrate the learning is amazing. In fact, I have a couple that I've coached. He read my book 3 times before reaching out about private coaching because it was so valuable. He read it 3 times.
So it seems like you got a lot of nuggets in this book that we're talking about. If we can pick one part, let's say in the first 2-3 chapters, what would be that, I like to call it that aha moment, that one that sticks out, that gives you that, oh my God, what would be that nugget or moment in your book, Uncompromising Intimacy?
Okay, I'm going to give one that's super short and one that's a little bit longer. I know you asked for one, but here we go. Okay, so what I want to do is actually explain the title, right? So the title is Uncompromising Intimacy. And that is because throughout the Western world, far and away the most common relationship advice that's given to have a successful marriage is you have to be good at compromise. If you want to be happy in marriage, you have to be really good at compromise. And that is completely wrong.
Well, hold up, huh?
If what you want is a kind of bland, dehydrated, pleasant companionship, then compromise is great. But if you want a juicy, passionate, connected, alive relationship that continues to evolve with the years and the decades, then it's uncompromising intimacy. And what I want to say is that when people hear the word uncompromising, they sometimes go to, oh, I always get my own way. It's like a rigid attitude. And that's not how I mean the word at all. I think of compromise in the context of a relationship as withholding what you want, withholding how you feel, withholding something of significance inside you so that your partner is more comfortable. And uncompromising intimacy is about sharing the truth of who you are, what is real for you, what you desire, but learning to do that in a way that your partner can actually hear it and meet you there. So uncompromising intimacy and what my book is about is not about like trimming off the parts of us that are uncomfortable for our partner. Instead, it's about embracing our fullness and what we want and learning how to bring it into the marriage. Because
Well, wow. I've been down that road twice, and I've never heard nobody say it like that.
But you connect, you know what I'm talking about like having to put yourself in a box that isn't who you really are?
And you don't feel comfortable in that box, but
No,
you're in that box because you feel that
you're supposed
not
to.
so many term this is your place, but yes, like you're supposed to. So wow. You know what? We're gonna take a break real quick because she just blew my mind. I think we need to let that marinate. So we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back and we're gonna get more into this, you guys. Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
Mind blown, like literally blown.
At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book.
So I've been reading because I have your book synopsis right here in front of me. And there's two things that really stick out to me that I want you to touch on. Why?
Okay.
Because I've been in one of the situations. And two, because yes, y'all, I have no problem being transparent. Been there, done that. Okay. And two is what I want for my kids.
Mm.
One, you said move from a sexless and affectionate star to cherish and adored. What do you mean by that? Like, that's a lot. That's a whole statement there.
It is, and it really connects with what I was saying before because, you know, how we are in our day-to-day interactions, compromising, holding back, being the way we're supposed to be, even if it's not authentically how we feel. There's no magic switch that when we get to the bedroom, we can flip it to be fully expressed and totally in it in the way that's necessary for passionate gratification. So if we are essentially disconnected, like little parts of us are divorced from our partner, they will be separate in the bedroom too. And so really my book, in promising that you'll go from sexless to cherished and adored, it's not because I teach any sex positions. I actually don't even talk about sex that much in the book. It's about how to create the authenticity and make room to accept yourself and your partner and communicate in a way that creates emotional intimacy, because in a long-term relationship that's a prerequisite for really great passion.
Yes. Now, that emotional intimacy. Yes. You're so right on that. So right. And then the second one, you have to be a role model for your kids so they can know what a great relationship looks like. Now, for me, I have a 21-year-old and I have a 9-year-old. So there's a big age gap. But I would like for them both to see mommy in a happy, like, oh my God type relationship. I want my little girls to see, I don't want to say mommy being treated like a queen, but mommy being, like you said, cherished and adored. So that part, how does that play in um becoming deeply satisfied and passionate with your partner?
Okay, I love this question so much, really so much. So my parents were divorced when I was young. My husband's parents were divorced when he was young. And really, when we got married, even though our relationship was great, I just assumed we'd get married because I couldn't picture really anything else. And the thing that I want to start in responding to your question is that having a fantastic relationship is a learnable skill. That was the second nugget I was going to say earlier. It's very relevant. And so we're not doomed to how it's been, either with caregivers in childhood or with what we've done before. And in terms of your children, I actually have a big age range too. I just have kids in between as well. Mine range from 12 to 27. And the most important thing for it's a little girl, that your 9-year-old?
Yes, she's a little girl.
Yeah, is that you treat yourself like a queen.
Ooh.
That is the best way to show her how she should treat herself and expect any future partner to treat her. And I just want to tell you, when my daughter was 9, that really woke me up and was a very important part of my growth too, because I just thought, if she spends another 9 years living with me and I'm compromising and sacrificing myself in all kinds of ways, there's no way that she's gonna leave home her radiant, joyful, amazing self the way she was at the age of 9. And that is what lit a fire under my ass, because I wasn't actually motivated to do this for myself initially. Now I'm into it.
Wow. I'm proud of me. I'm so proud of me. I stopped compromising. I am so proud of me. You know what? I had to give myself a little pat on the back because I actually got us something because I was compromising. And now, you know what? You holding out on us. This book is, so the book was published in 2020, but it reads like it was published like a couple of months ago. It's so relevant to this time that we're in.
Since we're talking about publishing, I have to tell you, it actually was published on it was released on Amazon in December 2019, and then on Audible in either February or March of 2020. And I've never run ads to it. I mean, on my own website, you can sign up for the first chapter for free, and then subsequent emails invite someone to buy the rest. So really, anyone who wants just the first chapter can easily do that. But I sell books most days, not that many. Maybe it's 5 one week, 7 or 8 another week, but I have a steady sale of my books without really doing much to make that happen. And I think it's because of what you just said. I mean, it is in the show notes of my podcast, and as I say, it's on my website, but I don't have like massive traffic to my website. That's not why those sales are happening.
And I can see that in just for the little bit that I saw, it was like, whoa, this is very, very what everybody should read. Because I think that we could take nuggets from it being about relationships, but actually can, take some of them, of the notes, and add it to everyday life. I can see parts of that. So
yes, I have to say that I really love the people. Like, I have a special fondness for the people who've read my book and applied the principles in other relationships with stepchildren, one with a PhD advisor, like, just because, it's not about sex positions. It's about how to honor yourself while in relationship with someone else, and how to make room for the other person to also feel respected and honored.
So it's like me bringing my best foot forward, them bringing their best foot forward, but us respecting each other best foot.
Absolutely. And sometimes people like to think, well, I'll put my best foot forward if he then puts his best foot forward, in a heteronormative context, but it doesn't work that way. Someone has to go first. Someone has to do it. Someone has to upgrade the culture of the marriage. And if it's transactional, it's just not as effective. If it's like, well, if I do this, then you do that. No, you just do it because that's the kind of woman you want to be, such that it becomes irresistible for him to show up differently as well. But it's not like, okay, I'll do this, and once you do that, then I'll do this. No. That is not uncompromising intimacy. That is transactional intimacy, which has a place, but it's not what I'm teaching.
You have dropped all kind of nuggets in this 30 minutes that we've been on. And I'm sitting up here like, yo, put that in the back of the head. No, Trish, what you got to put in the back of the head for? You can go back and listen to this again and get her book. So for those who are thinking like me, tell us how we can get your book. And then I heard that there's another book that you have.
Yes, but I really think if you're going to buy one of my books, this is the book to get. Uncompromising Intimacy. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Audible. It's very easy to find. Uncompromising Intimacy. And yeah, if you either have or want to have a really successful, passionate, long-lasting relationship, this is relevant. This is like oxygen for that situation. So,
ooh, oxygen. Yes.
I definitely, there was somebody who posted, I really loved it. I forget exactly what the comment was, but something about, blowing her mind too. I hope you read it. Like, for me, this is so straightforward now because I see it work again and again and again. I will also mention this book, The Invitation, Vital Conversations About Menopause, which I co-wrote with a friend of mine. And while I'm a physician and she's not, neither of us are menopause experts. It really is a conversation about each of our experiences. I'm 55. We had our conversations, I can't remember right now, I guess a year and a half ago. And she's a few years younger, but we talk about our own experience and also about what it is to, how menopause affects relationships and career and friendships with other women and parenting and sex and just like our relationship with our partners. We interviewed a number of women who've had really challenging times and described the two of us, menopause actually has not been complicated. It's been more empowering. And really the main purpose of this book, The Invitation, Vital Conversations About Menopause, is to have these conversations. Like,
yes,
any woman listening, or man for that matter, have you had a conversation with your mother about menopause? Like, have you talked with girlfriends other than rolling your eyes? Like, this is such an important topic, and no one's really talking about it, including a lot of physicians. So this is a book that, it's different than what we've been talking about, but it's similar in that we just share a lot of ideas. There's no way that there isn't something in there that's unfamiliar that is worth considering. And like our dream with my co-author, that's what I'm saying, our dream really is that mothers and daughters and friends are talking about this, because this is like the second half of life. For some people, it starts much earlier, and it really should not just be some blind spot in our awareness.
Or or how I've heard people describe it, the train that's on the track that's inevitably going to hit you. They make it sound so bad. So you guys.
And sometimes it is terrible.
But
sometimes it's pretty straightforward. And sometimes it's delightful. And sometimes it's hard. And sometimes it's variable. Like, I haven't really thought about it until this moment, but like, I can't think of any particular condition. Well, maybe birth is this way, quite frankly. But other than birth, where there's such a variety of experiences and they're all essentially normal. I mean, some benefit from treatment, some benefit from better bedside manner from caregivers, some benefit from more education, but that it's all within the realm of what happens in our society.
You know what? Thank you for writing both of them. Because we all know both of them. Thank you, Ms. Stockwell, for being with us tonight, dropping all type of nuggets and knowledge for us. You guys, you can always go back and catch the replay. If you look at the bottom, we have all her links that are available. And she was even nice to say we can read chapter 1. So let's go ahead and not read chapter 1 and just go ahead and buy the whole book. And it's on Audible. So if you're doing a little walking in the morning or your moments of meditation, you got something else you can listen to. But Ms. Stockwell, we thank you for joining SC Book Gal and Friends tonight. I'm going to let you end this out. Is there anything you would like to say to your new readers, your old readers, and your future readers?
Keep learning, because there's always something worthwhile, so you can have more pleasure in your life.
You know what? That is beautiful. That needs to be a Hallmark card, a statement, a meme, something, because every day you can learn something new. So, hey, thank you. You guys, it's another Saturday night in the book. Hold up. We got a question. Would you recommend your book in a book club?
Yes, although I will say that, absolutely yes. And some people are comfortable being more explicit, and some people are comfortable being less explicit. And I just think you want to be clear what's going to work for the members in the conversation. It's not necessary to actually talk about sex. It really is about how to show up for one another in the relationship. But yeah, I think that would be amazing. I have one more caveat. So the subtitle is Turn Your Unfulfilling Marriage into a Deeply Satisfying, Passionate Partnership. And I have to say, I wouldn't do this again, but I succumbed to the marketing people who said, you have to talk about how terrible it is. You have to emphasize the pain points. So the subtitle is Turn Your Unfulfilling Marriage into a Deeply Satisfying, Passionate Partnership. And I've had people read this book who have great marriages and want them to be better. There's always better. And their husbands see the book and they're like, do you think our marriage is unfulfilling? So just a caveat that, people can draw conclusions, but I'm just giving you ways to really win, because in terms of the actual book club, I think it would be superb.
Well, there you go. You have your answer. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to share this with everyone we know. And you have a beautiful evening, my sweetheart.
Thank you for such a delicious conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So again, you guys, another Saturday night, another author, another book added to your Be Read list. And I will catch you back next week, Saturday. See you guys later. Bye.
Oh, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east.